Jackson, Tyson, Jordan, Connor? Game 6. Ball so hard, you drag motherfuckers back to Alberta. That's my motto tonight. Shout out Kanye for that one, as it's Game 6 tonight at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. The streets are a-talking. The horns are a-honking. We literally, while playing the intro there, just had a Let's Go Oilers chant down at the bar. Da, 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 da. Let's go Oilers. It feels like a national holiday in Edmonton right now because it's the biggest game in this city in 18 years. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Hello and welcome to Pregame with BORDZY, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant for a reason. You know the drill by now. I think this is like episode 106, 5, something like that throughout the season. So if you're not throwing down your courtesy like before you get in here, what are you even doing? Make sure you subscribe to the ON YouTube channel. Get in the chat, throw off some takes. I'm seeing right now a lot of LFGs, 6 more periods from Wreck-It. All dressed chips. How very Canadian, said rocking the 29 tonight. Let's go, Leo. Doug Waite, shout out you, says I'm looking good. And the beauty of the nation's citizens here as well is on a night like tonight, everybody wants to be in Edmonton for the weekend, from surrounding cities around Alberta, BC, even Saskatchewan. Ticket prices, they're a little steep right now. It's basically a mortgage payment on your home. But you know where you can go, and it's first come, first serve, standing room only now. But it's Greta Bar-Yag. We've been here all playoffs long, all Stanley Cup Finals long, and I've already met what feels like 10 people from out of town saying, hey, watch your show all the time. I watch O&E with Tyler. I'm so excited to be down here at Greta because it is going to be an unreal night. Tonight, riding shotgun with me all throughout this bad boy, it's my boy, Brad Holden. Let's pop your face up. Let's get a look at you right now. You're rocking the Boosh Bomb t-shirt with a Los Angeles Dodgers t-shirt.
I'm taking that off.
Like that move from you right there, Brett. Give me a vibe check right now. Friday night in Edmonton. I feel like I could puke.
Oh, it is unbelievable out here. I was really starting to feel it today throughout the day, and once we got downtown here, you said it. Meeting people who are just coming down just for the game. It really makes you realize what this is all about. This is beyond just the hockey. This is the community that's coming around, and it is unbelievable in this place.
Dude, Frank Saravoli, I believe, said earlier today that it was 7 hours before puck drop. Dudes were driving around outside Rogers, honking their horns, going, let's go Oilers. You ain't getting that anywhere else. They ain't doing that out in South Beach. They're not doing that in Florida. But all right, our coverage of the final is presented by Fountain Tire, because Fountain Tire ensures that 100% of their vehicles owned have properly aligned wheels, because wheel alignments extend the life of your tire, which lowers the carbon footprint of your vehicle, reduces emissions, lowers your fuel consumption. And you can read more about Fountain Tire's ESG initiatives at fountaintire.com. We will be joined momentarily by everybody's favorite Banana Boy. Might even have a couple treats for him down here as well if he is kind of nervous. That's right, Liam Horban. He also, I'm suspecting, will be wearing a suit. So how much sweat will he have? We will find out shortly enough because, dude, it is baking outside right now. Did you know, people at home? It's June 21st. It's the start of summer. It's the summer solstice. Longest day of the year with sunlight. Last night, it was still like 11 p.m. out, and there was still sun shining away. I had a nice campfire last night in my backyard to try and stay calm. And, Brett, you know what I did to stay calm? I listened to Nickelback Saving Me approximately 80 times yesterday. Probably squeezed in another 25 earlier today. I'm in my feels right now, and it's a damn shame that Nickelback couldn't get out there to do the performance for Game 6. But, hey, we'll take it. It was the Beaches and Loud Luxury, I do believe. And those could not be more not similar, whatever word we're going to use for that. It's pretty crazy. But, Brett, I've never had a more lit experience in Edmonton than last Saturday, Game 4, Edmonton Oilers. Felt like our Super Bowl, as I called it, and the celebrations in this city, in this bar, in this very cubby that I'm in right now is absolutely insane. And it's batshit to me that 6 days later, we're literally in the same spot for us, but we're back on home ice for what is now the biggest game in Edmonton in 18 years.
Biggest game in Edmonton in 18 years after, 3 days or 6 days, whatever it may be. But yes, it's incredible to see what the city is experiencing tonight. And I think the city or the arena, excuse me, is going to be rocking. The big thing for Edmonton tonight will be managing that emotion.
He's on his way. Liam's on his way.
He's waddling over. I think it'll be a battle of managing that emotion tonight and being able to put it into the right experience and the right things tonight. But it's unbelievable in this city right now.
Liam said, I outsmarted my Uber driver, but it cost me a slight walk. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. We're balling on a budget out here right now. But all right, let's talk about some Oilers, because shout out Ty and Liam. They did the number crunching to this one, bad boy. The Edmonton Oilers have played in 1,477 games since Game 7 of the 2006 Stanley Cup Final. In that time frame, I've grown from a boy to a man. I can now officially grow hair above my upper lip. Beardsy, if Bordsy can become Beardsy, that's a whole different question. But we've seen it all, dude. We've seen number one draft picks come and go. We've seen some stay, one specifically, actually two specifically. We've seen coaches be fired, hired. We've seen the same with GMs. We've seen a decade of darkness. We've hit rock bottom before. I remember even hearing crazy relocation rumors. Daryl Cates trying to make some threats as well. But here we are, Friday night in Canada, and it couldn't be any better. I mentioned it's basically a national holiday. Let me know if you work today, and did you actually get any work done while you were at work today? I felt our O&E chat was just full of people saying, yeah, I'm trying to take lunch right now to just watch you guys. And we have the best job in the world because we are just surrounded by Oilers talk 24/7. But I've been nervously vibrating, I think is the way to put it, ever since Game 5. It's been quite the journey, not just the last 18 years, not just the regular season, these playoffs in general. It is a legitimate fairy tale. Shout out Zach Hyman. Write that book. Imagine telling us back in November, dude. 5-12-1, 2-9-1, whatever you wanted. You would not believe it. And personally, if I told you were in the spot, you would want to blow out your vocal cords tonight. It's going to be insane. I want the Panthers to hear Oilers fans all the way in South Beach. And that's not just Oil fans at the game tonight. That's at every bar around the city. That's in the surrounding city areas. Sherwood Park, stand up. I know local Sherwood is going to be bumping. Every one of those cities that Connor Brown drove through on his way down Highway 16 this year, all those small towns that are full of Oilers fans, this is for them. This is for everybody. And I think it's going to be a province-wide, possibly countrywide party tonight.
Oh, 100%. I was talking with my girlfriend's uncle today, who's going to be popping down to Greta tonight. He asked if he was going to be able to get in. I said, yeah, don't worry. I'm sure we can pull a couple strings. But we said this is just another thing to the story, the fairy tale, as you said it. It's one of it's
just another chapter, buddy.
Exactly. Well, and that's what we've been saying the whole season. It's another chapter. You started 2-9-1. That's a chapter. You go you fire your coach. That's another chapter. You go on an 8-game heater. Another chapter. You go on a 16-game heater.
A better chapter.
Not a bad chapter.
My favorite chapter
exactly.
so far.
You have people breaking records. You have Zach Hyman scoring 54 goals in a year. You have your battles against Vancouver. You're again beating Los Angeles, coming back against the Dallas Stars. And if you can make the biggest comeback in hockey history, that might be the greatest season in hockey history as well, in sports history.
Sports history, dude. I don't think it's crazy to say now. My shirt says it's a La Bamba mentality. Job's not finished. You got to get through this one, and we'll talk about it. This is as much of a trap game as there could ever be in the history of trap games. Fans looking ahead to Game 7, as we will touch on that in just a bit. But I want to talk about the Oilers crowd and the Oilers faithful this evening, because the Oilers crowd, it's unlike any other in the NHL. Mike Grinelli also said our arena is unlike any other arena in the NHL. So shout out Grinnell, producer from Spit and Chicklets, joined ONE today. But it's a passionate fan base. And like I just mentioned, it's not just a building. It's every single bar in Edmonton. It's every bar surrounding area. All those small cities. Now you've got the Storybook comeback coming around. You're getting plenty of room on the bandwagon. It feels like we've got a national following behind us right now, because who doesn't love an underdog story? A plus 700 comeback. I got the Oil at plus 600 to win the series right now. So you got to like that. But I've watched the 2006 Game 6 intro hundreds of times since that time, with a little Pump It, Black Eyed Peas, Chris Pronger, last one on the ice. Oh my God, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it right now. I put in another 50 views in the last 24 hours, but I get goosebumps thinking about the intro tonight. I expect there's going to be plenty pieces of beef thrown on the ice tonight. Absolutely. I want at least double digits of that. Ticket prices are basically mortgages right now. So if you're in that building, you know that you better blow out your vocal cords and you better leave it all on the ice, leave it all in the stands, because not only is this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for players, we've got guys ends of their careers that have never made it to this spot before, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for fans to be in the building, be a kid around this. I still remember '06, or of course, come on down to Greta Bar Yag. Brett, what do you think the crowd is going to be like? What do you expect tonight?
It's 18 years of pent-up energy.
It's been 18 years.
And the last time that they've had a Stanley Cup Game 6 here in Edmonton, it went to a Game 7. So it's a nice little, maybe not omen, but it's, for me, again, I remember being 10 years old, well, 9 years old because I'm a late birthday, in 2006, sitting there waiting every day for the game to start. Every game, I dressed up as Dwayne Rollison and pretended to be Dwayne Rollison for every game.
The resemblance is uncanny. Good joke, Aaron. I killed him. I'll pick it up from there. We'll continue going. I expect the crowd is going to be absolutely insane, but that's kind of my worry about the trap game. You know the start on home ice. Boys are going to be shot out of a fucking cannon. Enter Sandman. Gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Funny as well. Edmonton Oilers DJ, Tyler Bosencool. You know him. You love him. He's my good buddy. He texted me because he's watching the show up in the booth, and he said, Connor McDavid says that he likes that the days are long. Thanks, Bose. We all know that, but I appreciate you. He's going to be rocking it. Brett, he sent me a remix the other day of Evanescence, Bring Me to Life, cut up with Oilers sound bites from the year, and then it's like EDM afterwards. I doubt he can play that in the building tonight because that's for your rager kind of group out there, but maybe we can get it on the speakers later tonight. Here at Greta. I was telling the boss man, what I vote from the crowd, I want them to be on Bob's ass the entire game. Sergey. I want Bob chants. And I want Matthew Tkachuk to be booed every single time he touches that puck. Yes, he guaranteed a victory in Game 5. He did show up, though, held his end of the bargain, without a doubt, his best game of the series. Bar's also pretty low with that one, but he was damn good. And I worry about him catching a little bit of fire in this series as it moves along because he is a point-per-game player for a reason. I think that's an area the Edmonton crowd could get on top of him. Get on those refs, too. Maybe you can get in their head and they can give a shitty call that goes in our favor. But I'll just say it. I'm nervous. I have been nervous. I've talked to a lot of people in this bar that are just blind faith of, no, man, doesn't fucking matter. It's they're going to do this. And I get it to that aspect. Jay Downton, our fearless leader, said after Game 4 to me, right here, 18 beers deep, that if they can go out and win Game 5, we as a fan base will win them Game 6 on our own. Well, it's our turn to hold the end of that bargain right now, and I'm not going to be in the building, so I can't do it myself. I mentioned I want the beef, but I'm confident in the crowd. I'm confident in this team, but I would be lying if I said my stomach wasn't in knots all day long because, as I mentioned, this has trap game written all over it, dude. You could look ahead to Game 7. You're going to be in the home crowd. You might start the game a little extra fired up, trying to make maybe an extra stretch pass you shouldn't here or there. Now, these are sports veterans. These guys have been around and they've done it all, but they are human as well. So do you think there's a little something that could be said about tonight being a trap game, or at least to start the game?
Yes, 100%. And I was going to say that a little earlier too, because I feel like it is 100% a trap game, but I'm kind of leaning towards the blind faith, just going, hey, if I'm
been doing it all year, bro.
If I'm worried about, Game 6, the Oilers might lose this one, what am I doing here? This isn't, I'm not doing my job as whatever I do for anything. If I'm sitting here going, well, maybe they just might not. So I absolutely, for no reason, have any thought that they might lose this game.
All right, hit it for me. Give me a little Sherwood Ford full screen graphic here, because I've got a very special friend of mine coming on down. Big shouts out to Sherwood Ford, the Giant. They've been the presenting sponsor of Pregame with BORDZY all season long. We love them, and as I say, the Giant for a reason. You know who else we love here? I love a Liam Horban, but I love a man in a suit. And goddamn, you look good right now, Liam. Liam Horban, the Banana Man. Holy shit, can you hear those honks?
Yeah,
and
it
Liam,
is loud out
we've
there
got a
right now.
gift for you.
Oh, yeah.
There you are, my buddy. Vibe check right now. How are we feeling?
I'm nervous.
Get it in you. Get it in you.
I'm very nervous. It was good vibes walking down, so I had to outsmart my Uber
Yeah,
driver.
please tell me what that meant.
So
You look so good, by the way.
thank you. So an Uber here, Greta was $75
From your house?
from my house in Sherwood Park, which is like 20 minutes away, 25 minutes.
Dude, I've taken that Uber. It's like $22
I
100
know.
times.
So I was like, I wonder what it is to the ledge. $25. Suck it, Uber.
Buddy, that's what you get here. The man in a suit.
Mhm.
This guy knows. This guy means business. We were just talking about, Liam, that the possibility of tonight being a trap game because of all the hype that's going into this, and it's kind of been a look ahead to say, hey, we got to get to Game 7. Like Jay mentioned, the crowd will win the Edmonton Oilers Game 6. Is there something to be said about that tonight? I think they're going to be shot out of a cannon,
Yeah.
but there is that worry of maybe starting the game to try and make an extra crazy play, a stretch pass too much. And we've seen the Oilers getting beat by themselves before trying to make plays like that. Are you nervous about that at all?
I'm not nervous about the Oilers maybe overdoing it. I'm more nervous about us maybe underestimating what the Panthers
Yeah.
are all about. At
Okay,
the end
that's
of
a
the
good
day,
flip.
this is a Stanley Cup final, and they're an elite team as well. And we saw in Game 5 the capabilities they have and the way they can control games for long periods. So for me, it's not about the Oilers making those mistakes. It's about Florida coming. And I think the Oilers are used the fans to their advantage.
There's an added bonus to it. Like Paul Maurice said earlier in the series, it's desperation versus desire. Kind of feels like that is entirely flipped right now, and that Florida might, in fact, be the desperate team, and the Oilers are the one that are
Yeah.
desiring. Also, somebody said, you think winning 4 games in a row against the Florida Panthers sounds crazy, sounds impossible. Well, right now, you just got to win 2 more, which, Liam, we literally just did against this team. So I
know.
feel good you can let it roll. I want to take off our Oilers Nation hats for a moment, be unbiased, the 3 of us. Shot out of a cannon, Brett. What scares you the most about the Florida Panthers tonight?
Probably scoring first.
Okay.
It's just if they can get to Stuart Skinner first, and Skinner doesn't have a fantastic game, then I'm concerned about that. So for me, it's just them striking first.
Yep, kind of getting to that crowd. The crowd's going to need reasons to cheer tonight.
Yeah.
You got to give them it. Granted, they'll will them as much as they can. What scares you the most?
I mean, I said it on our show yesterday too, just Bobrovsky getting better.
Yep,
At
that's
the
fine.
end of the day, like
That's fine.
he's not a 700 save percentage goalie, right? He's still really good, but it kind of goes both ways, right? Like the Oilers seem to have found cracks in his armor, and it's about Stuart Skinner kind of countering him. And really, like, you look back through the series, Skinner's made one mistake, the one he goes to play the puck behind the net, and you could argue it kind of lost him the game in a weird way too, right? I know there's
Yep.
a few more goals in there, but he wasn't great. So for me, it's just about Bobrovsky finding that game, and I'm just very intrigued to see what kind of Florida we get tonight. Are they going to be this aggressive, physical team, or how are they going to be,
I'm curious when I mentioned the desperation desire thing. Like the desperation side, we saw it for the Oilers down 3-2 to Vancouver and down to the Dallas Stars. And it was back against the wall. It was loose puck scramble time, diving in front of pucks, star players blocking shots, active sticks in front of the net, clearing rebounds, all that stuff. I'm wondering if Florida is going to have a bit more of that in their game tonight. Frank mentioned it as well earlier. He said if Florida comes with that same Game 5 effort, they should win Game 6 because they were incredibly good. It's going to be on the Edmonton Oilers. Curious to see if Florida's going to have that extra bit, because this time coming to Edmonton, I think they mean business. Did they
Yeah.
fly out their families?
I would assume so.
I would think so.
I think you have to. I know that was kind of.
We took it around with it.
But like at the end of the day, if Florida does win tonight, it's a massive accomplishment for them. But just one thing on that Frank comment. So what was it? He said if they win tonight, if they play how they did in Game 5, it's going to be sorry.
It's hard doing a show with 100 people walking by yelling at you. Eh?
If they win tonight based off how they played in Game 5, is basically what he said, right? But I feel like he's discounting how the Oilers played. Like,
Thank
I know
you.
Florida
Thank you.
played well in that game, but the Oilers also,
They won because they played better.
they were up 3-0. And the Oilers took over that game too in their moments and shined when they needed to. And Florida just naturally had the pushback of a team that was down 3-0. So I don't love that point from Frank. but don't tell him I said that.
Yeah, exactly. Please coming on the show every day. It's Oilers Nation every day. And we need our Frank, our Daily Faceoff insider. Great question. Ty had earlier today. Tonight will obviously be the last game in Rogers Place ice. Win, lose, or draw, it does not matter. There's been a lot of shit that went down on that ice throughout this season. You guys mentioned your favorite moments earlier this year. Earlier this year. Ty mentioned winning the West. I thought Game 4 was one of my favorite. But I'd be curious to ask in the chat as well. We don't want to get negative. What was your least favorite memory on Rogers Place ice this season? For me, it was losing to Winnipeg. I think it was 3-2 in overtime. We scored 2 goals 6 minutes into the game and completely shat in our pants for the rest of that one. Or getting goalied by Scott Wedgwood, obviously San Jose. What's your worst memory from Rogers Place?
I'll save this piece for after. My least favorite memory, and this I'm trying to think my memories of when I went to a game. So I went to watch the Oilers play the Minnesota Wild earlier this season, and the Oilers lost 4-2, and it was just so brutal because that stuff around it too. Calvin Pickard wasn't great that game. I think they only had like 15, 16 shots, scored 4 goals, and it was just like the whole narrative around like he wasn't good enough and all that stuff when he had proven so many other times. And they were just kind of bad that game. And honestly, I hate paying for tickets and they crap their pants. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get it in now because people, time to get your Nation gear. Go to nationgear.ca. I'm rocking a La Bamba mentality. Unfortunately, we're not offering this suit and shirt combo next to me, but you can oil up with T-shirts, white, black, blue. We got oil up snapbacks, as I mentioned. La Bamba mentality. We got Live Laugh La Bambas. I believe we got some Rico shirts coming out right now as well. Shop them all exclusively at nationgear.ca. Time to oil up, people. You need to be wearing stuff at the parade as well. Show your allegiances as well. See what I did there. Let's move now to the need to know info courtesy of our friends from Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. You can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc, Spruce Grove, and West Edmonton Mall kiosk locations. Beef jerky has kind of been my bananas throughout this season. It's been my stress eating.
I honestly wish I had some Wilhauk right now.
Little ASMR while we're doing this.
It is so good. I bet people are getting a little SMR.
Damn it. And we have so many out-of-town friends for Game 6, and I didn't even think about... That's on me. That's on me.
Next year.
That's on me. Next year, Wilhauk. I hope you stick around to pregame with me for the rest of this run of Connor McDavid. Maybe we'll get another 8-year deal. As I mentioned, 1,477 games since Game 7 of 2006. Tonight will be the 12th home game of the postseason, which ties a franchise record set in 1987. However, this will be the Oilers' 53rd home game this season. Breaks a record for the Oilers franchise. Rogers Place made a lot of coin with those 53 home games this season. This is a good stat as well. 47th home game under Chris Knobloch. The Oilers' record at home, 35-9-3, and they're 7-4 in the playoffs as well. We've always liked some good home cooking. Yeah, you looked at that. That's a full orange top hat suit.
Oh, wow. Good
from Little Dumb and Dumber. He was here for the last one as well. Some playoff notes here for the Oilers. They have combined to outscore LA, Vancouver, Dallas, and Florida 47-32, including 31-26 5v5. Overall, their power play is 31.4%. Their penalty kill, 92.6. They've outshot teams by an average of 31.4 to 24.7. So I raised to that guy who made the video calling the Edmonton Oilers the biggest frauds to ever make the Stanley Cup final. Reread what I just said, rewatch it, and if you still think that, I'm looking you dead in the eyes. You're stupid if you think that. I don't know what that guy's name is. There, I said it. That was one of the most ridiculous TikToks I've seen in a long time. And I live on the internet.
Those videos bug the crap out of me because I only watch them out of fury. Like, I don't learn anything from them. I just need to know whatever dumb things he has to say. And look, like, you don't get to the Stanley Final by fluke. Nobody ever has. You have to win 4 rounds. You can get maybe to the Western Conference Finals by a bit of a fluke, and maybe you can say when the Oilers got there a couple of years ago, it was a bit fluky going down 4-0 to Colorado. But either way,
got to be good to be lucky. Got to be lucky to be good.
Exactly. It's just disrespectful to the game to think that the league could be that easy for these two teams to get there.
I thought the dumbest thing I heard was they rely or they're basically penalty kill merchants. Was basically what he said. I'm like,
Ridiculous.
what? Because we go down a man that we successfully killed. What?
Congratulations to us.
What are you talking about? Either way, that's enough on that guy. You know who we're talking about if you've seen that video. Oilers looking to become the third team in NHL history and first in 79 years to force a Game 7 after trailing 3-0. Obviously, the 42 Maple Leafs did it. The 1945 Red Wings won Game 6 on home ice, but they ended up losing it. McDavid's been on fire in the final. He's got 11 points, 8 in his last 2 games. First player to ever have back-to-back 4-point games. He's 2 points back of tying the playoff record points set by Wayne Gretzky in 1988. Or no, sorry, in the final. Most points in the final. Gretzky has 13. Connor currently has 11. And then we saw Evan Bouchard broke the assist record, Paul Coffey's record, his defensive coach's record, with the most assists ever in one playoffs, with his 26th helper of the season. Then you need to know, Evander Kane is technically a game-time decision tonight. Hasn't played since Game 2 against Florida. If he did come in, and I'm putting did in all capitals, I think you'd expect Derek Ryan to be the odd man out. You'd shift the fourth line. Ryan McLeod moves to center. Kane on the wing. Perry on the right wing, which would be the reunion of the McPain line. The McPain line that had that nickname as well. Let me ask you, Liam, right here. Do you want Kane to be in the lineup? And if he did, it would be a fourth line role. Do you want that?
I want Kane to be in the lineup because I think he's can be a contributor in a multitude of factors, right? But I just don't know what Evander Kane will get him right now. He's evidently hurt. Like, people have criticized him for his production, but you look up at his production up until he got hurt with that hit into the boards, and he was good.
Yeah.
Like, he was really
the hernia
good.
wasn't bothering for the first 2 rounds.
No, he was good in the
Sure it was.
series against LA and had moments in the Vancouver series. And what do you want the guy to do if he's injured? I don't know. If he's like 60%, maybe I'd go with it. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, Derek Ryan's not doing a ton for you out there, isn't he? Like, he's a good penalty killer, reliable player. You know you're not going to get anything too bad that's going to happen. But I don't know. I think you need Evander.
The positives to Derek Ryan, right shot, can take the draws, plays on the PK. But granted, right now, whoever plays on that PK,
doesn't matter.
It does not matter. You can roll me out there, and I'd be able to do it. The one thing I worry with Kaner is if he's playing a fourth line role in limited minutes. That's probably a good thing for him because of where he's at right now physically. But if you're going to play those minutes, I need you to play a fourth line style, greasy, physical, hard on the forecheck. And what I've seen from the last couple of games while he was trying to power through, he was lacking in that physicality, shying away from contact. So I worry about it. But it's debate. Is 60% of Evander Kane more of a threat? And I think the answer would be yes. It's just to what degree he will be able to play tonight.
If you just want in the physicality, just play Sam Carrick.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know he's healthy, or at least healthy-ish, whatever. And he's going to bring that physicality. He's probably not going to score. But if that's all Evander Kane, is that also you need? Like, someone put in the chat there, I missed it. Adam said, like, you need someone to keep Nick Cousins in check. Like, Corey Perry's on the ice. Nick, what's he called? Sam Carrick. There's a couple of guys. I'm not worried about Nick Cousins. I'm actually quite happy he's playing. The guy's a
dude, you said earlier today, if you always get Connor McDavid on the ice with Nick Cousins, look the fuck out, Panthers. He's going to have to catch him to try and injure him first, okay? We know he's going to be able to do that. Bob Stauffer, Kane out for sure. Ryan is a PK specialist. If Kaner's less than 100%, boy, I don't know. They want Ryan on the PK. Kane favoring an injury, not worth it.
I don't think they care about Derek Ryan on the penalty kill. Here's what they do with Derek Ryan on the penalty kill. Yes, he obviously has shifts.
Win or draw.
But if you watch, he basically wins a goal and goes to the bench.
And then he goes to the bench every single time.
That's kind of his role, and he's very good at it. But I don't know.
Evander Kane, the upside. We'll get in the Tyler debate of the upside of a player. Evander Kane absolutely has it. Florida Panthers side of need to know they're 7-3 on the road this postseason, 1-1 in Edmonton. Tkachuk leads them with 11 road points. Look out for him tonight to be motivated, as we saw what he did in Game 5. I worry there's a little awakening of the beast. You can't chirp them from the press box, but give me a couple turtles from Master of Disguise. You know what I mean? In the Cup era, Panthers are 4-3 overall in Game 6s. They are 3-3 on the road. Nick Cousins returns to the lineup. He'll play on the fourth line with Ryan Lomberg, Kevin Stenlund. We just touched on it. There's been way too much discussion about Nick Cousins coming into the lineup. Who cares? He's going to play just over 10 minutes. Who knows? We'll be sure to find out. As you see it here on your screen, a look at what we expect the Florida Panthers lineup to be. Third line stays the same, and it's going to be a night tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky does get the start. He started the series red hot with an above a .950 save percentage. He has fallen back down to earth hard, hit some reality. Yeah. He's allowed 12 goals in his last 3 starts. You could also say 12 goals in his last 7 periods.
Yeah, with Bobrovsky, it's just they seem to have found something about him, right? Like you look, and Kevin Woodley said this today on our show.
He was awesome.
We asked him 3 questions.
He just you like wind him up and just let him go, like Jason Demers.
So Bob worries me, but I also know that the Oilers clearly have found something in him, and just the idea of McDavid playing the way he is right now, like I give the advantage to Edmonton.
I see the squishies in, said Liam. Send Kaner some bananas.
They're helpful. I'm going to dig into my third pretty quick here.
You've already crushed 2 sitting here.
You want one?
Yeah, I won't. I won't. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
There you go.
We're going to open up a couple bananas here live on the show. Get your potassium. Let's move now to my Sherwood Ford Giants storyline this evening. For me,
it was a bit beat up.
It's any means necessary. It doesn't matter how you get the win, as long as you do, in fact, get the win. You live to fight another day. I mentioned there is no tomorrow because there literally is no tomorrow. You do not know that. It was nice to drag the Cats back to Alberta, sure, but you want to go back to Florida tonight. You use whatever you can. The crowd, maybe use some bad calls. And another storyline for me is I think Stuart Skinner is going to need to have the game of his life. I expect Florida. They looked very good in Game 5, and Stu stood tall, man. Nice. Gina's taking a photo of us. There you go. He stood tall. He was fantastic throughout that game. I expect more of that tonight. Leon Draisaitl, obviously, another guy we need to step up. We'll talk about him in a minute. Role players are doing what they need to do right now, so I feel confident. It's just kind of continuing what you found here. You've adjusted well in this series. You found some magic. You found some gold. It's to keep going, but it's by any means necessary.
Yeah, it is. So tonight, what did you say? Sorry, Skinner needs to play the game of his life. I think Skinner
maybe not game of his life, but as good as the last one.
Yeah,
because I thought he was arguably the last 2 games, even in the 8-1, because of the score. His play went so under the radar for how damn good he was. And in the last game, it could have been 2-0, 5 minutes into that hockey game for Florida. He robbed Aaron Ekblad out in the direct slot. I'm going to need more of Stu from that.
Yeah, I'm looking for a big game from Stu tonight, too. The Oilers got to make it easy for them in front of him as well, right? Like, Stu, for me, like, whatever he sees, he stops. He's not really getting beaten on anything too easy right now. He's really making life difficult for Florida to try and actually score some goals. And I mean, what is he supposed to do really on any of those 3 from the other night? So I'm a big fan of Skinner right now. He's won at every level he's been at. He's a very good goalie. He's not an elite goalie, but he's coming up, and he's here for the long haul.
He's not an elite goalie yet. And yes, WHL champion, man's got a ring.
Yeah.
Man's got a ring. All right, let's move now to the Edmonton Oilers projected lineup. Brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giants, home of the Giants Advantage, and Dealer Raiders, Alberta Ford Store of the Year award for customer satisfaction. With a giant selection of new and used vehicles, it's the best place to find, finance, and service a Ford vehicle in Edmonton and Sherwood Park. There you can find a giant deals and a giant array of services and parts too. Whether you prefer shopping online or in-store, Liam, they tailor the shopping experience to you from people who really care. Sherwood Ford the Giant for a reason. Also, the best coffee in the game.
Sherbucks is elite, and nobody will ever compete.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've never had a cup of coffee from Sherwood Ford.
Oh, it's the best.
I drive past it pretty much every single day on the way to work, and
probably
maybe I should start doing that. Maybe I should just start doing that. All right, let's take a look at it here. Our projected Edmonton Oilers lineup this evening, as I mentioned, Evander Kane is a game-time decision. Keep it locked on Twitter. Keep it locked right here, and we'll let you know the late-breaking info as it rolls in. But the projected lineup, Warren Fogle with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Then it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Leon Draisaitl and Dylan Holloway. Then it's borderline elite third line, Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. Never would have thought those words would have came out of my mouth earlier this year. Fourth line of McLeod, DR, and Corey Perry. As I mentioned, Evander Kane could find his way in there. The deep pairings, they're going to stay the same. Ekholm Bush, Nurse with Broberg, Brett Kulak with one Cody Ceci. So we also got some news today or yesterday that Connor McDavid said he's going to be undergoing a procedure at the end of the season. We think it's somewhere in the core area, not very sure, somewhere that it's been painful. He's been battling injuries all season. Remember the beginning of the year, he sat out 2 games, and then at the conclusion of the regular season, he sat out the final 2 games as well. Playing hurt and playing through injuries always going to be a part of the NHL playoffs, right? No one feels bad for you. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. But the fact that he's playing the way he is right now, and it's coming out that he's going to have to undergo a procedure when these playoffs are over, it's mind-boggling, dude. He's the greatest player on planet Earth, playing better than he ever has before on the biggest stage in the entire hockey world. It straight up doesn't make sense. It's baffling. It is just like this man was made in a test tube in a laboratory somewhere. He's on another world right now. He doesn't look poised to stop. As I mentioned, back-to-back 4-point games. That, when your back is against the wall like that, and we'll talk about his other running mate in a moment who's doing the opposite while playing injured right now, but Connor McDavid is willing his team to victories right now, and we're going to need more of that for the next 2 games.
Yeah, he's on another level right now, and like it's being recognized by everybody, right? And the injury thing just kind of adds to it all, doesn't it? And like I think we all kind of had an idea he was lingering with something, but for it to come out the way it has been is impressive to see what he's able to do under those circumstances. But I just fully expect him to be elite again tonight, and I know that's something we've just come accustomed to, but just watch him tonight. He's going to be special. Like goalie scored. He didn't even score it. The assist.
He should have got the goal and 2 assists on that one. I think Corey Perry would have understood.
And it's just like that kind of stuff. Like we were here at Greta, and the reaction is something that will amaze us every time we see it. Right? It was incredible. He's just leaves you speechless. Really.
You take him for granted, but you also don't, because we're so aware how blessed we are. But when you see him taking the puck 200 feet away from the other opposing net, and you see it coming, everybody sleeps forward a little bit, sips up, because you know it's about to come. He's also been a fucking quote machine, dragging him back to Alberta. It's not over yet. The mic'd up moment with Hyman was just the most. Those guys are honorary Berta boys. The way they kept yelling, fucking Berta, back to Berta. I was like, those guys work on the rings up north. They come in here with their Heritage Classic outfits. It's been insane. Connor McDavid. It's like I keep bringing it back to, but it was 2009, it was 08 and 09 when the Penguins lost to the Red Wings. Then they came back, and you saw it in Crosby. Becoming a man right in front of your eyes, becoming a leader of the team and starting to do things that you go, oh, only Sidney Crosby can do that. He would just circle behind the net, doing 800 times, find a way to get the puck out. And right now, it feels like I'm watching that with Connor McDavid just 20 years later, or whatever you want to say, maybe 15 years later, whatever you want to say. But the other guy, the running mate, Leon Draisaitl, he needs to have a game tonight. This team needs him to have a game tonight. The fact that they're still alive in the series without Leon Draisaitl playing at elite levels is a testament to the rest of that team, that third line, but the depth throughout this unit. He is clearly, Leon, that is, battling an injury. Biz, I believe Grinelli said today that Biz noticed he's not bending his knees. It looks like he's not shooting. He's getting dominated in the face-off dot. We know he has a hand/wrist injury of some sort. I'm sure that guy has got broken bones all throughout his body. It's insane. But once again, no one's going to feel bad for you. No one is going to pity you. He's gone, I think it's 8 games now without a goal. 7 was his longest streak in the regular season. He was asked the other day if his slump was a result of changing line mates, this or that, Florida playing well. He said, quote, "It has nothing to do with it. It is on me." But the point that I want to make, we're going to take this optimistically.
Okay.
We're down 0-3. It's back to 3-2. If I would have told you we are still alive in this series and we haven't gotten your patented Leon Draisaitl performance right now, you'd be feeling pretty damn good, because I think it's a matter of time before he does it. Or do you think his injury is hindering him so much that we're not going to get to see it? I debated it for an hour today on Bordzy's Bankroll. Do I throw Dry in there?
Yeah.
I didn't, because I just don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to really predict what he's going to be right now, because he just hasn't been that guy for a while now, right? But I think we've seen moments of it. Look at that goalie had against Dallas. Like, that's really impressive. So, I mean, the weird part about his injury, and someone else mentioned this too, is whoever it was, we saw him a couple of years ago going around on basically one leg, and he was the best player
And he set
in
the
the
record
playoffs.
for points in a series.
So
in 5 games.
whatever he's going through right now must be just awful. So I given him the benefit of the doubt. I still think he's playing well. He's just not scoring. But we really need him to score because, like you said, like at this point, without that moment in the series, you'd think like advantage Oilers. But to be frank, like I don't know.
You're Liam.
I am. I don't feel that way because I don't know what he's going through.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah. And I like the point you made because in the last game specifically, he was great defensively. His back checking and his speed. So it's kind of tough because when you watch him do that, you're like, okay, he's skating just fine. Maybe the hand really is that much of an issue, and that's why the offensive capabilities haven't been there. I feel like I haven't seen him shoot the puck.
I know, besides
once
the power
in the
play.
last little bit, and even then, it's just not.
It's not coming
the
off
same.
Right.
Yeah,
and like he's known to like miss on it. I mean, anybody would.
Yeah.
Like you said, difficult shot to take, but to be consistent.
He's fanning those shots too. Like he's not getting contact.
Timing's a bit off. Like he must be in some pain. Oh, they're out on the go.
Boys are hitting the ice. Holy shit! I can't wait for Enter Sandman. You're going to see that in person, Leo.
I know.
I'm so happy for you. All right, we talked about one Connor, but we're doing this team justice. And we didn't talk about the other Connor. Connor squared right now. Because if Connor McDavid is the engine to this team right now, Connor Brown's the fucking heart and soul.
Yeah.
Every bit of this. And you can see how much the guys in the room are enjoying this for him and are loving it. And I hope there's a little aspect that Brownie, while we love him, I hope that he's enjoying this and going, man, I feel like these guys have stuck their neck out for me all season, and this is my time to repay a Leon Draisaitl and maybe step up and elevate my game. But I told you in January when we are doing kilometers, going down the map, going all the way down Highway 16, that Connor Brown would become a major, vital, important part to this team on that third line. Not just him, it's Janmark, it's Rico in general. It is crazy what he's doing right now. He's playing the best hockey of his Oilers' tenure so far. He's one of the fastest players on the ice. He has effort coming out the ass, man. His back checks going to even is like a one-man forecheck to defenders behind the net. He'll chase them all the way behind the net, turns pucks over left, right, and center. He's great on the PK. He's been a godsend right there. He just plays his role to a T right now. I want to ask you afterwards about that line. For Connor Brown right now, dude, this is a complete 180, maybe even more so. Wait, no, because you'd come back. A complete 180 from what we saw to start this regular season.
I mean,
it makes no sense.
His penalty killing has always been there, right? Throughout the season, he's always been a reliable penalty killer, and that was always the excuse to like keep him in the lineup. Is okay, he's doing this; it'll eventually come. I don't think anybody expected it to be 54 games. Not even himself. So even when it came, it was probably a surprise, to be honest. So he's just been a great addition throughout the playoffs and everything. And it's fun to see what he's been able to do. And just his work ethic is amazing. And that's the big thing for me is he never gives up on plays.
Effort out the ass, man. And with the speed like that, that's such an excellent combination to have. And it's crazy how that third line that's what wins you Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the top guys get you there. Guys like Rico Brownie get you through the playoffs. And right now they're starting every period with that trio. Every faceoff is those guys. And I want it that way. I loved how Nobby switched up the top six, but he kept those three together. It's been absolutely spectacular. One final one. I've got you before you leave. Oh my God, they're showing the empty netter right now.
I'm trying to see if Kane's on the ice.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to see. We'll keep it locked on Twitter. Final question I got for you, Liam. Actually, I'll have two. I'm going to ask for your score prediction. Anytime goal scorer. Player tonight you want to see step up that isn't named Leon Draisaitl.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Yep.
And I think those kind of go hand in hand. They're playing alongside each other now, but they need to help each other out, right? Like with Holloway there and Nugent now besides Dry, like that trio should be able to get more going at 5-on-5 than they have. So, yeah, the Nudes to step up. I don't actually, quite frankly, couldn't care less when it happens. Any of the three situations he plays in would be fantastic. So, Brett needs Gina.
Brett's ordering beers. Is that for Gina? That's my kind of producer behind the scenes. Final question: score prediction, anytime goal scorer, and are we partying later tonight?
Oh, I hope so. I think so. I said 5-3 on O&R, but everyone else was saying it, but I'll stick with it. So 5-3 to the Oilers. Brown Mark connects for another one.
Ooh.
I know. So
Well, that's 2 goal scorers, but no, I'll
they
take
connect
that.
for one. They'll just help each other out.
Okay, there we go. All right, that's Liam
Short-handed.
Orban. We love him. Best dressed. He'll be up in the press box tonight. Put a couple bananas in your pockets. We love him. Let's move now to starting goaltender. Actually, let's give a shout out to Greta right now because we're live down here. And boy, oh boy, is it filling up, Brett. Every single seat in this place is booked up. I laughed. The people that come in off the streets, I have seen these group of guys here every single game throughout it. So you'd think they know what goes on here. And they're walking around the bar, and he's like, wait, every single table's reserved? Every single seat is reserved? He's like, yeah, man, they have been for weeks, but it's first come, first serve, standing room only. We got an army of people literally behind you right now. You want to flash yourself up? Robbie, say hi on the camera. Come say hi on the camera.
Right here.
Oh, he got nervous. He got nervous. All right.
We got everybody here.
The entire patio is booked up right now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dude, summer solstice doesn't get any better. Yeah, nice. We'll just hand your laptop around right now. Oh, wait, it's plugged in to absolutely everything we got going on. Let's move now, Brett, to our starting goaltender report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Nice, Robbie's in the picture. Your one-stop shop for everything you need, from fishing rods and reels, tackle and boat accessories, to motorcycle gear, water sports accessories, and e-bikes. You can find more at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, right in the heart of Sherwood Park. Get on down there. A $70 Uber for Liam. That's just insane. That is highway robbery. Uber is not a sponsor on this show. You got to fix that up. Let's pull it up. We're at the tail of the tape between the 2 goaltenders so far. That's in the playoffs as a whole. Can you also give me just so far this series? Because Stuart Skinner leads in both major categories and shots against per game as well. He's officially back above a .902 with a .267 goals against. Bob, .297 with an .896. And Stuart Skinner, I mentioned, he's going to need to be elite once again tonight. He has been for the last couple of games with his back against the wall. You know Florida is going to bring it. And Brett, do we have, oh no, I don't know if we're actually going to have it, but we all know what I'm talking about. The graphic we saw online where Stuart Skinner's numbers from games 1 to 3 and games 4 to 7 that continue to move along. It is a complete 180 for there. I believe his save percentage is somewhere in the 930. People let me know in the chat what those are like, but he adjusts as the series moves along, just like the Oilers do as well. And I think Stu is starting to get a book out on a couple of these Florida Panthers skaters. What I love about Stu, I've mentioned it, I've been arguing with the same buddy for the last 2 seasons of why Stuart Skinner can, in fact, win the big one, why he can become a championship NHL goaltender. And I showed him that graphic. It was exactly that. I apologize. We don't have it ready to go. Brett has an absolute zoo behind him going on right now. But the message is, suck it, Stuart Skinner haters. He's going to be elite tonight, hopefully. But Brett Bobrovsky, have the Oil figured him out? Do you think so? Do you think there's an aspect to this that we can continue to pick him apart? Because I said in the last pre-gaming, this has happened with every goalie we've played against in these series. Talbot Rittich, we already had him figured out. Took Shelov's a couple games, took Ottinger a couple games. It's taken Bob a couple games. Right now, looks like wherever the Oilers are shooting, it's going to go in. And the start of the series, it was all go high, go high, go high. I trusted the Oilers' instincts. They've been scoring up high, down low, breakaway from the point, shooting one right at his nuts. It doesn't matter. It's been going in, and I expect that Edmonton crowd to be all over him. What do you think we're getting from Bob tonight?
I think he'll be shaky. I think the last couple of games he's been shaky. You saw the 8. Well, it wasn't 8 goals for him, but
5.
The 5
on 11
goals,
shots.
Well, that's even worse. So you can even go back to game 1. In game 1, when he was playing the puck right off the faceoff, he almost buffed that and put it right into his own net. So I think it slowly started to creep in on him, and especially for having Connor McDavid start to figure it out on Bobrovsky, I think that's the issue.
When we're talking Stuart Skinner, I expect a good game to him. No reason I asked this. Do you think he could make over 26.5 saves tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. We'll revisit that one in just a bit. Shout out Mr. Burns in the chat. I think she's in the bar too right now.
So, yeah.
I think everybody is in the fucking bar right now. It really doesn't matter. It's going to be an excellent night downtown as well. Sergei Bobrovsky, though, is he off the case? Only time will tell. Shout out to everybody's favorite man, Jay Onright. That guy made me want to do the show. He made broadcasting fun. So we're going to continue to let it ride.
Bobrovsky!
We're off the Kings. Get out of here. We don't want you in. Let's move now to the Florida Panthers lineup report brought to you by Greta Bar-Yag. I mentioned it. We're here every single game throughout the Stanley Cup Finals, which means, people, we've got tonight and we might have Monday, and we got to empty the clip, unload it all as fans and as players, and come on down to Greta. I mentioned, Brett, they've been doing $5 Fridays from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. tonight. That is 9 hours of happy hour drinks, $5 beers, $5 everything. Are you shitting me? And the graphic they made, I'm on it. Absolutely losing my mind. Look like the sweatiest guy in the bar.
I'm there too.
You're in there as well. Shout
you.
out Spencer. You ever had somebody capture the peak of your life in a freeze frame before? Well, I have. Let's take a look here at the projected Florida Panthers lineup. Top line of Carter Verhaeghe, Alex Barkov, and Sam Reinhart. Second line, Evan Rodriguez with Sam Bennett and the Turtle, Matthew Tkachuk. Then it's Eetu Luosterainen with Anton Lundell and Vlad Tarasenko. I thought they were much better to start the series. As it's gone along, I feel like they've maybe tailed off a little bit. Fourth line, it's Ryan Lomberg, Kevin Stenlund. Holy shit, you just saw that guy, Brett. And Nick Cousins on the fourth line. We take a look at the deep pairings. Forsling with Ekblad. Ekblad didn't skate at the Panthers' last practice. I believe it was Josh Mahura, local boy, St. Albert, shout out, who was skating in a spot. Ekblad's going to be ready to go, but as I've always said, anyone named Aaron, they're soft. That's a guarantee. Nico Mikkola with Brandon Montour in the second pair, and then it's OEL with Dmitry Kulikov. One note, Brett, OEL is now going to be manning the Florida Panthers power play because Brandon Montour is apparently off of that power play. He has looked like dog shit. That pass he sent to Barkov on the Connor Brown short-handed one, which was an egregious pass to make from boards to boards with Brownie right there with the wheels he has. That was a dumbass play in general. Did you see the back check from Barkov on that one?
No.
He had a chance completely to catch Connor Brown because when he went backhand, but Barkov by the blue line gave up. He just completely stopped, and that was a brutal one. So we'll keep an eye on that Florida Panthers power play. But that leads me to this. Dare I say Alex Barkov hasn't been the same since Leon Draisaitl hit him in the head. That's a fair thing to do because he might be dealing with some concussion-like symptoms. Never underestimate the ability of professional sports to look the other way and continue to let you keep playing. But he was arguably at that point the best player in the series, above Connor McDavid, because he was shutting him down, takes that hit to the head, and all of a sudden he doesn't look the same. That play, breaking or giving up on a Connor Brown breakaway, is just something you don't get from the best defensive center, best defensive forward in the entire NHL. Do you think there's something to be said about this?
100%. And I was honestly concerned from the moment that they were like, we'll see how he does in the morning. That's not necessarily...
That means conky.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say that everybody's saying the jaw, he might have fractured his jaw. That's not something you say about a jaw. So if it's not the jaw, and it is in the head, and then a concussion, could be a brain, whatever, that's something that could parallel onto, okay, I'm giving up here, or making a bad decision here and there. So, yeah, I think there is something to it. I was thinking the exact same thing. Hoping personally for the best for Barkov, but selfishly and for the Oilers, I hope it continues.
You are such a better person than
Till
me
Monday.
because I wish nothing but pain and sadness and straight shit all over the entire Florida Panthers hockey team. I do think, though, Barkov, he's the captain, he's the leader, he's the best player on that team for a reason. He's going to need to be that best player because you got to drag him into the fight because Connor just dragged him all the way back to Edmonton, Alberta. We talked about Nick Cousins in the lineup. I'm not worried about him playing any greasy shit, as we mentioned. He won't be on the ice with Connor McDavid, and if he is, he's got to catch him before he's actually going to be able to stick him or hit him or find a way to do that. Liam agreed with that one earlier today as well. We can sit here, and we've done it all season long, dissecting fourth-line additions and subtractions to the lineup, but right now, keep your eye out for him. I expect he'll be very physical, and he will be headhunting. He'll be in on every scrum after the whistle, but there's a factor there. My final one, Matthew Tkachuk. He was great in the last game. That's a player. Oh, my God, he's getting interviewed right now by Kyle Bukauskas.
Boo.
I just want to punch him in the face, man. There's so much bad blood between. We don't even know each other, but I just feel that way. What do you think Chucky's going to perform tonight? Do you think, because the crowd's going to be on his ass, he tends to be a guy, though, we've seen it for years. He loves that shit. He plays off of that stuff. Do you think Chucky's going to have a good performance tonight? Because I do. And with Barkov not playing his best play right now, I think Chucky's going to need to be the best player on the ice possible.
Yeah, I think he'll have a notable or noticeable performance tonight. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. I think you'll just notice him on the ice. He'll get opportunities.
He'll be a factor.
100%. He'll get opportunities. He'll hit the body. He'll do his thing that Matthew Tkachuk does so well, and whether that's and whether that is a goal, a game-winning goal, a cup-winning goal, or if it's a potentially Game 7 forcing giveaway or something like that, I think you'll notice Matthew Tkachuk in this.
There's got bananas everywhere. I got beers. I got Red Bulls. I got pizza taquitos. That's what you get down here at Greta Bar Yag, people. Let's move now to Betway 19 plus. Please play responsibly. It's time for BORDZY's bankroll, because with the Betway, you can get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. All you got to do, place a bet, no minimum amount required. And if that bet loses, you'll get a refund up to $200. You can then use that money to bet on your favorite sports. How do I do it, you might ask? Create a new account, scan that QR code on your screen right now, join the action, as the man in green says, and redeem your bonus. Unfortunately, this offer only available outside of Ontario, but you should have dragged your ass back to Alberta like everybody else did tonight. Looking to make some dollars. To be fair, I would take a win. I would lose all three of these bets if it meant the Edmonton Oilers walked away with a W tonight. Without further ado, Brett, hit it for me. The three choices tonight. It's Connor's world, and we're just living in it, and it's very apparent looking at bankroll today. Edmonton money line, 97 2+ points, currently at plus 175. The man had 4 points each in his last two games. Both of this bet would have cashed in both of the last two, plus 175. That's great value. Brett, I already asked you if you believed in this one. Over 26.5 saves for Stu at minus 115. And then it's a 97 anytime goal plus 115. I debated putting a Leon Draisaitl there. I debated the Bush power play points. They score a couple power play goals. Bush power play point went from 175 to plus 105. Just didn't find enough juice right there. And it's as I said, it's Connor's world. We're living in it. Anytime goal scorer. When I ask you, Brett, which of these three bets do you like the most?
I am personally a big fan. I like the 26 over saves, but I'm going with a 97 anytime goal. I think he's on it. He looks focused. It's exactly what it's the perfect recipe for a 97 just shellacking.
I don't have the YouTube in front of me. What's the chat saying?
They currently have a number 97 and the Edmonton money line at 62%.
Easy money, people. And as you could have guessed, I already bet all three of them responsibly because I am 19 plus. And as I always say, you only bet what you're willing to lose. You be responsible with this one. And I also got money line. I got puck line. I got everything going right now tonight because you bet with your heart. No, don't do that. But I do that. Brett, it's going to be a hell of an evening tonight. Oh, my God. This is my roommate, Decker. Come around.
I didn't even realize that was Decker.
Come around. This is talking to that. Give a message to the people like you just said.
Let's go fucking Oilers, baby! Bring the cup all the way home! Woo!
Bring the cup all the way home. That's what I wanted from my boy, and that's what we're going to find a way to do. Big shouts out to everybody here at Greta. It's already insane. Come on down. You can stand at the back with us. Standing room only. I'm standing the entire time. Brett, we haven't sat down for 2 months at Greta here. I don't want to sit down the entire time. I want to run around and high five everyone. Come on down. If you see me, come say hello. Also, later tonight, if you want to get in the bar, you can say Aaron Bordato at the door and they'll let you in. I didn't say it. I don't know where that audio came from. Somebody else's mouth must have said that. Come later tonight. I want to hang out with you.
Oh, hey, Phil.
Big shouts out to Phil, manager at Greta. Couldn't do anything without him. Shouts out to Sherwood Ford, the Giants, Sherwood Power Sports Marine, Greta Bar Yag, Betway 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Will Hawk Beef Jerky, Fountain Tire, and Brett. I save him for the last. Boston Pizza. Give him a big shouts out. You don't want to get rowdy tonight. It's a Friday night. Go down to BP's. There's 2 spots in downtown Edmonton. Fishbowl Fridays. Go fill up on one of those. Get some Cactus Cut potato chips as well. If you want to get rowdy, you know where to be. You know where I'm going to be. I love you all. I hope this is not the last time we ever pregame together. I got so many people around here right now. I love all of you. And I'll see you right here after the game, Oilers Nation After Dark. It's me. It's Brett. I don't think we have much planned, and I think I might be opening it up to some nation citizens later on tonight. So come on down. I love you all. Good luck out there tonight.